The city has charter authority, and that means that it has the right to institute rules and regulations and laws that protect the citizens of Tucson. So, in many ways, the city's rules apply regardless of the state's rules, unless they are in complete contravention to state law. In this instance, there is no state law that says you cannot mandate wearing of masks, or that you cannot mandate a curfew if you're a charter city. And in that sense, I don't believe that we are at all in violation of state law.
These are hard to enforce, though. I mean, across the state, there have been a couple vocal law enforcement officials who have said, we've got better things to do. So, how does it really manifest in a community when law enforcement says, I'm not going to do this?
Well, much of this is done through voluntary compliance. And in fact, the last time we had a mandated curfew and the state itself was shut down, there was very little law enforcement that was occurring, but people respected the change in the state mandate. Likewise, I think that that's what's going to be happening this time around in Tucson's 10 to 5 mandate.
For a business, if people are inside their facility past that curfew time, does that allow them to skirt any issues so that they can continue to conduct their business?
No, they need to be closed the second the curfew takes effect. And that means that after 10 o'clock, they need to close. They need not serve people anymore. And then people need to leave the premises.
Do city officials, you were once one, do they take into consideration when they hear from law enforcement who says, this is not how I want my officers or my deputies to spend their time?
We listen. Those are very important issues. We have to weigh as elected officials off between police and other enforcers having one set of responsibilities versus these added responsibilities. But ultimately, it's up to the people who are elected, the citizen community, to decide priorities.
All right, you served as mayor before. You've had to walk a very delicate line in the past with various issues, but how do you convince the public that they may not want to do this, but you believe it's necessary in the time of a public health emergency?
It's a tough road. If people don't think this is real, it's very hard for a mayor or a governor to try to convince them that it is real. Um, Frankly, I have never had this kind of a problem in the years that I was in office. This is a vicious, vicious issue for us. Um, the health consequences for the community are enormously important, and it's really hard push on the part of elected officials to try to convince reluctant people not to do this, but they have little other choice because of the incredible consequences that we face as a result of people do not mask up.
We've heard a lot about the messaging. I mean, is that what it really comes down to?
It's partly messaging, but there's got to be more than just messaging. And that's why curfews and mandates become important. Most people I know, maybe 95% of the people I know, do not want to break the law. Um, they're law abiding citizens. And when they're confronted with the idea that this is the law right now because of certain kinds of reasons, they will obey that law unless it's absolutely irrational for them to do so.
What's the risk, though, for political blowback?
Well, the risk is that we are a very divided community, we're a very divided state, we're a very divided country. There are going to be people very unhappy. A lot of people believe that it is their right not to wear a mask. And so elected officials probably need to take a risk under these horrendous circumstances that sooner or later somebody may put them out of office because they did the right thing, but they need to do the right thing.
All right. Professor Tom Volgy, a former mayor of Tucson, thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.